Right. One thing I heard you say about that that I thought was so interesting that I can't really not ask you is that you talked about using Tai Chi to overcome the fight or flight response, to balance the fight or flight response. And you
Hmm.
also said that one of the mechanisms of this extraordinary moving of people that people can see you do if they look for you on YouTube and so on is the student's fight or flight response. And that if the student wasn't to have a fight or flight response to you simply just touching them, a subtle fight or flight response, you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to do that. And I thought that was very interesting indeed. And you also link that fight or flight response that one works with in Tai Chi to the kind of equanimity one strives for in, maybe that's the wrong word, in
No, it
meditation.
is. It's equanimity. Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the striving, I think, is the word that was, I laugh at myself to use that. But
Oh,
nonetheless,
you have to strive. I'm pro striving.
okay,
Strive for equanimity.
right, exactly. So that's very interesting. Can you talk a bit about that, the mechanism of that uh, extraordinary moving that you're doing, how that relates to the fight or flight response? I thought that was very interesting take on that.
Okay, it's kind of broad, but I'll try to talk about it a little bit. So Tai Chi means yin yang, right? It's these opposing, balancing qualities. And the goal of Tai Chi, in my opinion, at least the path to it, is called Zhongding, which means something like equanimity. It usually is called central equilibrium. So that means neither yin or yang. The balancing line between them, the curvy S in the yin yang symbol. So you don't run away and you don't butt in to experience, which I'm sure you can see the correlation to Buddhist work. You stay with the way things are with equanimity. You don't butt in and you don't run away. Now, in Tai Chi, you want to cultivate it in a way that it's a reality in your nervous system. So I always say people lie all the time. Their personality lies, their mind lies, but their nervous system doesn't lie. So someone acts calm, I'm vegetarian, I only eat mung beans, and I'm all about love. And as soon as you put your hands on them, they stiffen up. They stiffen up because of fear, right? And aggression and things like this. In other words, they don't have love, equanimity, or any of those things. They're lying. They might not know it, but it's a veneer. So when the nervous system changes, well, you've changed. I mean, Western science would basically say the closest thing to you is the nervous system. I don't think it's that wrong. I mean, of course, I think it's the spirit soul is what I think. But from a more material, testable point of view, the nervous system is primary. So we're teaching our nervous system to react with equanimity, with release. So you have the fight or flight response, which is very subtle or very extreme. And you learn to let go into an emptiness and a stillness, to let go of the reaction of pushing in or running away. In other words, you're doing vipassana in the nervous system. Yeah. And that's when you can do that, you feel alien to the non-Tai Chi creature human. Truly alien. When they touch you, it feels bizarre because they've never felt anything like that in their life. Because everyone always reacts with fight or flight, always. It's just you don't realize because it's so subtle. So for whatever reason, which I don't understand, it makes their nervous system freeze. It gets stuck. And it turns them into kind of a stiff object. And then they're stuck, they're a stiff object because you feel alien to them, to their nervous system. It's got nothing to do with the intellect or the mind. It still happens to my students of more than 10 years. They know it's coming, but their nervous system still reacts the same way. Then they get thrown out because of other mechanisms about moving the chi inside to make power and stuff like that. But for the fight or flight response, it's about this equanimity that's alien to normal motor activity and sort of perception of the mind. You don't know how to put force on it. What? It's not forward, it's not back, it's nowhere, it's everywhere, it's empty, it's full. not the brain, maybe part of the brain, the nervous system, not the mind, is confused. And that's basically how it works. Does that make any sense at all? I know it's out there.
Yes, I think it's very interesting. How does one transcend that? Or how does one find the equanimity in the nervous system to mix the streams there? Your students of 10 years, some of them, you say, still have that response.
Yeah.
Is it likely they'll ever get beyond that?
I think everyone has it unless you're fully liberated. It's the matter of degrees. How much do you have it? You only need to have more of the equanimity and zhongding than the person you're touching, right? If you have enough differential, you can create the effect. Same as any activity involving two people. Yep. So you do it via consciously releasing stress first to your own experience by yourself solo through bitter training. In other words, pain. And then through applied stress via a partner. And you learn how to realize what it feels like to be in this peaceful equanimity state in the nervous system, mind, and body. And then you gradually learn how to maintain it under varying conditions, much like the meditative path when you get off the mat. So the reason why I delved so deeply into Tai Chi is I realized it's meditation off the mat for me. It's served me so well, and many people that I've taught years of meditation and years of Tai Chi have got more spiritually out of the Tai Chi than out of the meditation, because it's integrated equanimity. Not I'm peaceful when I'm on the mat and then I get up, or someone disturbs my meditation and I'm pissed off. You know, it undoes that tendency because it's the opposite. It's cultivated under stresses, maybe only gentle ones in the beginning, but not perfectly solo, sitting still, quiet, you know. Yeah, so it's like that. And I think that's its actual purpose, among other things. But I think the true purpose of Tai Chi is definitely cultivation, spiritual, and the self-defense is just a byproduct.
Have you ever touched Luang Po's body?
Many times, but I've never tried to do Tai Chi on him. I wouldn't dare. No, I've put my hands on him thousands of times, but I've never. Yeah. So the question is, does the normal, let's say a liberated person from meditation, have the same thing? Basically, that's the inquiry, right? Do they get that equanimity in the nervous system? I would say they do get beyond the fight or flight response, yes. But do they have the same result where people bounce off them? No, because that's cultivated through the very specific sort of inner work with the chi and the way you develop the white tissue in your body, and it's technical. It's specific. Do they have the equanimity part? Yes. Therefore, could they get really good at it in no time? Absolutely. The moment they built the creature, they could do it. Where for a normal person, building the creature is the first stage, and then developing the other stuff is the rest of your life. So it's like a reversal. I hope that makes sense. I know it's weird talk if you're not a Tai Chi guy.